Welcome to the 7 Success Habits of Homeschoolers. This series is my homeschool-specific adaptation of Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. My name is Alison Moore-Smith, and I homeschooled our 6 kids for over 27 years. After a number of years presenting this in conferences, I compiled it into a book. This presentation on YouTube will be done pretty much like a conference talk. Although you aren't here live, think of it as a personal chat with a little editing and a few tangents. We'll go through the book chapter by chapter, hopefully giving you all the information you need to dive right in. If you'd prefer a more concise written form, you can grab the book on Amazon in softcover, Kindle, or you can read it for free on Kindle Unlimited. There's a link in the description. As new chapters are added, they'll also be linked in the description and added to the 7 Success Habits of Homeschoolers playlist. Now on to Habit 6. Synergize. 1 + 1 = 3 squared. Now in the Covey version, it's 1 + 1 = 3. That's the typical Synergy version. But to me, education is so profoundly important that the result is exponential. Synergy means that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You can work with your kids as a team to make education absolutely amazing. And to do that, you need to try to make education as attractive as possible to your child. So here are some of the things that make education fun and exciting for kids. The first is field trips. Do I need to explain this? But if you think you have to be in a school to go on a field trip, you do not. Anywhere the schools go on field trips, you can do. Sometimes you can just do it as a family, and often you can do it as a group of other homeschoolers. If you've seen a field trip in a public school, I've seen the same thing with homeschoolers. And I've seen a lot more interesting and varied ones with homeschoolers because it's more variable. Libraries. Now this is a little bit old school these days. Most of our new books are on Kindle. But libraries are still a great resource for kids. I hope you have a good one in your area. It is worth the library card fee. My grandsons love to go to the library. And most of them don't just have books anymore. They have movies and music and toys. I've seen all sorts of things. I've even seen artwork you could check out. Service projects. Seriously, do service projects with your kids. Yes, they can be fun, but they can be very meaningful, particularly if you can find something where your children can actually see the benefit they're giving. It's not just this peripheral, and we're doing this activity and then it'll be shipped to somebody. If they can see the beneficiary of their service, it's beautiful. And that could be as simple as shoveling the walk for someone, weeding a garden for someone. It can be going to a homeless shelter. It can be singing at a nursing home. Anything your kids can do, and particularly, like I said, if they see the beneficiary and they can see what their service is actually doing, great experience for them and something they can really look forward to. Clubs. Join clubs if there are some in your area that are good. Create them if they're not. We have done this so many times. I can't even remember all of them. My oldest couple of daughters did a girls club, which was just a bunch of other homeschool girls about their age, and the moms rotated with different things that they had all the kids come over and they presented something or did something or had an activity or did a craft or did a game at the park, or once they had a tea party. I mean, anything you want to do like that. One of my daughters was in an American Girls Club where they read an American Girls book and then they went and did a bunch of activities. When my boys were, one was in junior high and one was just approaching junior high, they both loved games. And so I started a game club, a board game club. And it was only for boys because they were boys and they just liked hanging out with boys. So we had a boys game club, and it was limited to this very particular age range that included both of my sons. And it was a smash hit. Like, we had these kids and they were playing chess and they did all sorts of stuff. And I'll tell you something, my oldest son met his best friend in this club, and they're still best friends today. And my son is 25. They're still best friends. It was such a great experience and such a fun time. Anything can be a club, all right? Do anything that interests your kids and invite other kids. Kickoff events and ending events. This is something that took me a long time to learn because we didn't have to answer to anybody. We could just do our own schedule and do our own thing. But at some point I realized that kids really like kind of anticipation of something coming up, just like Christmas or a birthday or a vacation. They get excited about something. And so sometimes having an event that they know about that's going to happen is a lot of fun. We homeschooled all year round with breaks whenever we wanted, but it was still fun to have a first day of school or start of school event. One of the other homeschooling families had this big barbecue picnic in the canyon at the beginning of every school year. So that was kind of our kickoff. We also did big graduation ceremonies for our kids, but we also did kickoffs for our study of the Renaissance. We went to the Renaissance Festival to begin our study of that. And in fact, we geared the start of that unit around the Renaissance Festival. Think about things that would be fun for your kids, that would help them anticipate and enjoy an event. At the end of every year when we lived in Florida, we had to have this evaluation by a certified school teacher. To be honest, it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. But we had to do it by law then. But my homeschooling friend and I would take all of our kids to the same teacher. They'd do the evaluation, and then we'd go to Denny's. And that was the end of our school year for that year. And we did that every year for years. And it was something my kids loved. So anytime you can think of something fun to start off something or to finish up something, it's just kind of a milestone. It's fun. Fun time. Now, everyone has fun time, but plan some fun time. Actually say, we're going to take these days to do these particular things that have nothing to do with education or school. We're just going to plan out these fun times and fun things to do. And it's going to be interspersed throughout the year. Use your expertise. I know you have a skill and you can share it and benefit everybody. I used to be a singer, so when we lived in Florida, I started a homeschool choir, and it was just a bunch of kids that were the same ages as my kids, and we all got together and sang, and we did that for 2-3 years, and it was great fun. After I moved to Utah, I created a different choir because my kids were older. It was a swing choir. It was called Swing Shift Singers, and we bought costumes, sequined, and had choreography and dancing, and that was also great fun. One year I offered a course in dialects to the homeschool kids. My kids have been to sewing classes, to babysitting courses, to script writing courses, to political discussion courses, to debate classes, all because other homeschool parents decided to share what they knew with everybody else. Use your connections. Think about who you know and what they do, and how you can incorporate what they know into your homeschooling, and maybe that with others. Invite other people too. My last idea for synergizing is a strange one, but it's scheduled downtime. As I mentioned, we did homeschool year round, and we just took off when something fun came up. Oh, look, there's this thing we can go to, or there's this place we can go to, or Dad's off, let's go on a trip. But it turns out, just like kids who cannot wait for summer break, kids like to anticipate a time when they can do whatever they feel like with no oversight and no schedule imposed on them. So just like public schools, schedule some days off where they can do whatever they want, including sleep in and lie around and do nothing. What fun things has your family participated in? Even better, what did you create for the community, and how did you do it? Please share your thoughts. I'll see you in the next installment. Habit 7, be a model in progress.